Hello everyone. So in the last lecture we proved Lagrange's theorem, which is a very important theorem in group theory. I always feel that Lagrange's theorem demands a lot because it took us about 8 results as part of build-up just to be able to be in some position to prove Lagrange's theorem. So in that sense it's a very demanding theorem. But having proved it, it is also a very generous giver. So it takes in a lot, but as it also gives a lot of output. So from Lagrange's theorem, we get many interesting corollaries. As our first corollary, let us prove that if I have a finite group of prime order, then it cannot have any proper non-trivial subgroups. So let's quickly recall. For any group G, we have mentioned earlier that these two will always be subgroups, namely set containing identity and the whole group itself. So these are always subgroups of G. This subgroup is called as trivial subgroup. Any other subgroup is called non-trivial. This subgroup is called as improper subgroup because it's an improper subset of G. So any other subgroup of G is called a proper subgroup. So if I have a third subgroup of G different from this and this, then this will be called a non-trivial proper subgroup. So in this theorem, what we are trying to prove is that if G satisfies some condition, then it will never have a proper non-trivial subgroup. In other words, it will have only two subgroups, the trivial subgroup and the improper subgroup. It will not have any third subgroup. So let's prove this. It's fairly easy. It's a straightforward consequence of Lagrange's theorem. So it says, if G is a finite group of prime order, so order of G is given to be some prime number P. Now let us take any subgroup of G and see what are the possibilities. So let H be any subgroup of G. Now apply Lagrange's theorem. By Lagrange's theorem, order of H has to divide, by Lagrange's theorem, order of H has to divide the order of G, but order of G is P, so order of H must divide P, and P is a prime. So which are the only integers that are going to divide P? So if order of H divides P, order of H is either 1 or P. Because P is a prime, these are the only two positive integers which will divide P. So there are only two possibilities. Either the order of H is 1, and if the order of H is 1, it means this subgroup contains only one element. It is fairly obvious that it has to be the subgroup containing only identity. That means it is the trivial subgroup. And on the other hand, if the order of H is P, which is the same as the order of the group, then the only subset of G of order P is G itself. So in this case, H has to be equal to G. So these are the only two possibilities. That means if H is a subgroup of G, then it either has to be the trivial subgroup or it has to be the improper subgroup. It cannot be anything else. So if I have a group of prime order, then it cannot have a proper non-trivial subgroup, or it can have only these two subgroups, the trivial subgroup and the improper subgroup. Next, we are going to prove that every group of prime order is cyclic. So let us next prove an important result, that every group of prime order has to be cyclic. So once again, we'll take a group whose order happens to be some prime. Now the smallest prime number, the smallest positive prime is 2. So if the order of this group is P, then P has to be greater than or equal to 2. Remember, 1 is neither a prime nor a composite. So the smallest positive prime is 2. So if the order of this group is P, then this group must have at least 2 elements. So because the order of the group is 2 or more than 2, there has to be at least one element in G which is different from the identity. So because the order of the group is at least 2, besides the identity, I am very sure that there is at least one more element. I call that element as A. And now we are almost done. Let H be the cyclic subgroup of G. Let H be the cyclic subgroup of G generated by the element A. So this is a subgroup of G. And because this is a subgroup of G, once again, the order of H must divide the order of G. So, because order of G is a prime, the only options that I get are order of H is either 1 or P. This is the same as the earlier case. In this case, it will be the trivial subgroup. In this case, it will be the whole group. But where the proof is different is, see, if H is cyclic group generated by A, surely the element A belongs to H, because A can be written as A raised to 1. So it's an integral power of the generator. Therefore, this element belongs to H. And remember, this element is different from the identity. That means in H, you cannot have only identity. There is at least one more element. So order of H cannot be 1. But that leaves us with only one option. The order of H will have to be P. And if the order of H is P, then H will have to be the same as G. And remember, H was a cyclic subgroup generated by A. So now I get G to be cyclic generated by A. This element A also becomes a generator for G, and therefore G becomes cyclic. Okay. Let me prove one more corollary. Every group of prime order is abelian. Let us prove that every group of prime order is abelian. But before I give you the proof, pause your video and see if you can come up with the proof yourself. It doesn't really require much. Use the previous corollary. The previous corollary says every group of prime order is cyclic. So by corollary 2, I will get every group of prime order is cyclic. This I have already proved. And in an earlier lecture on cyclic groups, in fact that was the very first theorem, very first property of cyclic groups that we proved. Every cyclic group is abelian. So you just need these two pieces. Put them together. Every group of prime order is cyclic and every cyclic group is abelian. So automatically every group of prime order becomes abelian. So every group of prime order is abelian. And now recall that exercise which I had left in chapter 1 at the end. I had asked you all to prove that every group of order 5 is abelian. I had also mentioned at that stage that we We will give a one-line proof for this a little later in the course. So notice that if the order of a group is 5, 5 is a prime number, I make use of this result straight away. So as a corollary, because 5 is a prime number, from here it follows that it has to be abelian. So every group of order 5 automatically becomes abelian.